Good evening, everybody. Hello, it is I, the Netherlad. Good evening, and I hope you're doing so very well. Especially to my good friends Sunberry and Gamesy. I hope you're having a good evening or other time zone, and that you're doing well. Hello, Michi. Hello, how are you doing today? I'm so glad you're here as well. Today we're going to be playing Scion once again, and this time it is as heroes. We are no longer just regular mortals. We have taken a step towards godhood. Oh. And I wonder what that will mean for my character.
Hello there.
Hello there, Kimsey. So for those who have not seen it, because it wasn't on my stream, I think should have hosted it. I think I forgot that. Whoops. But I was a guest over at Dr. Andy's stream with Kuherin or Superliz and Kamesy as well, playing Honey Heist. You can check out the VOD over here if you want to. It is a very long one. But we've played Honey Heist for about it was about an hour and a half starting time, and then we played Honey Heist for about 3-4 hours, and the rest is just good old chaotic fun. But with that said, I would like to jump in to tonight's game with the rest of the people. Just a quick short hello to Silent Cade. Good evening, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello.
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 Hello. Are we how are we all doing? I hope we're all still surviving this heat.
As I explained to the others, I have learned what heat exhaustion feels like.
Oh no.
Yeah, on my part it hasn't hit us yet, but it will.
Right. That is also
I'm very concerned for you guys because you guys have the heat and the fires this season and I do not.
Oh, I'm losing my connection here somehow.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Nope. OBS is just dropping frames.
Oof.
You're roboting a little bit too.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
It would not be game day without some kind of technical difficulty.
True. One moment.
Hopefully it will be resolved swiftly and smoothly.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, and I also had like a thick crawling on my leg today. That was not nice. Well, at least I removed it before it bit me, so that's nice.
Yeah,
Now I'm just
that's
worried I
good.
have more of them.
Hmm.
That happens. Alright.
I think my connection is stable again. If there's anyone still in chat, could you let me know?
Well, it sounds better on our end anyways.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say.
Well, that is good. Everything looks okay. Yeah, just suddenly dropped frames 4,402.
Oof.
Or 8.1% of my current stream.
That's a lot of friends.
That's a lot of frames dropped. Yes.
There is.
Seems to be
Alright.
good
Tell
now,
the-
says Michi. Thank you, Michi.
Tell the stream to pick them all back up.
I
Littering.
yeah. Gamesy says A plus here. That is lovely that it is also coming in across the equator.
Yeah.
But that is odd.
It happens.
It
Oh, I know what
does.
I need to do. There's one more thing I need to do, and then I am good to go.
Okay.
Alright, I have done the thing. I just
Okay.
didn't have Gon's character sheet open.
I still have my own music playing, but I'll switch over as we start.
Everybody ready?
I am
Okay.
ready.
Well, then last time we had our visitations. Everybody went from being just a little bit more than normal, Omnos might take offense to that, to a lot more than mortal type of thing, through either some tests or meeting an old friend. Friends? Yeah, we'll use friend. And yeah, seem to have some ominous portents or some
Ominous?
mild lectures as everyone kind of gets together and works on. After the visitations, there are some things that some people wanted to do, whether it's learn how to use their new physical gift or to go reclaim their old new house. One of the two. Um, but yeah, totally didn't prep up for for the description of this. So if there's anything that wants to be changed with it, we will start with Omnos during the. I think I said. What did I say? 2 weeks of
I think
downtime?
so.
Okay.
I think you said a couple of weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll start with Omnos, as you have gone to your Nementon, which it's kind of interesting to be, for lack of a better term, in kind of a sub realm. It's not quite Terra Incognita, because that's large and expansive and connects so many different things, and it's not quite the world or like a house in the world. It's kind of like a vacation home where everything is how you want it most of the time. I say most of the time because despite the fact that it is a lovely building, a lovely abode that's large enough to have various things on there, or various rooms and amenities available with a natural uh, spring on the side. Um, there are bits and pieces of it that seem to be going over on the purgation side of the Nemeton aspects, where it seems to be, at least in part, overgrown, and a lot of the details and finery being kind of brushed away through the age. Um, yeah, generally speaking, it does seem to be kind of a lot of a wooded area around there, which is probably, for those who know how to navigate the aspects of Terra Incognita, could make it to your Nementon through there from Terra Incognita, but otherwise, you were the only one with access with your memento, which would be a gilded piece of body jewelry, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that is what lies before you. A decent sized spring kind of comes in. I don't remember how many people have seen like a Last Airbender, but it's kind of like a pool that has a little bit of water coming in, like when the monk was trying to teach Aang how to access the Avatar state at will. Um, and then it kind of goes over into another, like it can go over into another pool, and these pools are plenty large for people to fit in. They are, uh, I'm not going to say warm to the touch, but they're not cold. It's kind of like cool and relaxing, especially with the temperature that it happens to be out there. I apologize for all my hot European friends. Um, but yeah, so you have your springs and you have this building and pretty much a forest and weeds and bushes that have not been attended to for probably the better part of a couple thousand years at this point. Um, as you
The
do,
way that I imagine it as
Mhm.
well, you know, pending DM approval, of course,
Go for it.
is that, you know, the scenery sort of shifts a little bit depending on or reflecting Omnus's state. Like some things are constant, but some things shift.
Like temperature might shift if Omnos gets upset, type of thing.
Yeah, or you
Okay.
know, like the state of the vegetation and weather conditions and things like that.
Absolutely, I can get behind that. This is, after all, your realm.
Yeah,
Um, is there anything
because
that you want
I
to?
can't quite recall, but I seem to remember there was something about you know, the place being adjusted to the owner or whatever. But that might just be me misremembering as well.
No worries. Signature purview, blah blah blah. Um, Create a new number. It says that you can make boons and marble. Oh, boons and marbles take place there as if you were present. That's fine. So, you can affect this area wherever you are at in the world. But yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with it because, as mentioned before, it is indeed your realm. This is how you want to change it, however it may see fit. Um, but yeah. Did you want to take a look around or anything like that while you are here at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Omnos would want to explore his own realm.
Okay. Um, what is Omnos feeling right now as Omnos is kind of walking around?
Mm, I mean, I imagine that, you know, this all feels very familiar. It's like um, sort of like walking in a place that you've perhaps dreamed about, and suddenly you're in that place.
Hmm.
So you remember it even though you've never been there, but it's kind of vague, or some things may not be the way they were remembered. Sort of have memories that aren't quite substantial enough, I guess. So it's, mm, I think probably also a little bit bittersweet because
Hmm.
in those half-lived memories would probably um, the place would probably be in a better state, and so it's a bit like bittersweet because of the things that may or may not have been lost, I guess.
Understandable, understandable. As it's kind of like the curiousness, it is kind of like that mention of like the temperature. It's kind of warm, kind of like a nice spring day. Um, and then as you kind of reflect on some of the aspects of it being bittersweet in and of itself, there is kind of like a chill and a sudden breeze. Um, as you kind of take a look around the building, in the back it is kind of expansive. It definitely needs to be cleared out and taken care of again, but you see um, kind of an aspect of a place where you would remember and not remember of the aspect where you'd be able to take people and take them through drills or fighting. There is places where you would sit there and like it's not quite a stage or a pulpit, but there definitely is a I am here and I am speaking and you will listen type of area type of thing.
Hmm.
Um, but like as you kind of go through the building, there does seem to be an aspect of it that kind of gives the feeling of a restful place or barracks, but it's not like the instance where they're very cramped quarters type of thing. It's kind of like the best way to put it is it's if it is as if the general had the funds and the ability to show how much that they cared and appreciated the people that worked for them. But there's plenty of rooms and there's plenty of there's an armory. Unfortunately, most of the stuff in the armory has also gone to a point of disarray. Almost to a point of things being unusable at the moment.
Hmm.
But as you kind of go forward to the barracks, there are little lumps on the beds.
Yeah, I think Omnos would. I wouldn't say carefully approach, but more like not because I mean he doesn't really have much fear in general, and he certainly doesn't have much fear in his own realm, but more careful in a sort of I don't want to disturb things sort of way.
And more of an investigation thing, or just kind of like getting a little bit closer to take a look?
Um, just getting closer. He's not trying to be stealthy or anything, just more not startling, like, or for that matter, stepping on something that might break or whatever.
Um, so it's kind of as you approach, they do seem that the best way to kind of describe it is it's kind of a bit of a shock as you take a look and you see small humanoid forms about like they're covered, so it's kind of hard to see, but kind of like the general shape of them um is humanoid with but they're like a foot tall or so as you're kind of taking a look. A third of a meter type of thing for those that use sensible units. Um, and it's kind of interesting because it's only a few of them, and at one point, like they're not responding, and they seem to be. The best way to put it is kind of in an enchanted sleep.
Mm. Um, well, I would probably want to figure out a way to wake them, if
Um,
at all possible. But I mean, yeah, whether
um,
that's like rummaging through, well, maybe maybe first and foremost I would want to try and either remember or figure out what these things are, um if there's anything in my old memories about this or something like
um,
that.
sure, sure. Not gonna make you roll for it as you kind of go through your memories, especially because you're in your place. So even if you didn't necessarily remember as Omnos, kind of comforting whispers might come from your past lives here.
Hmm.
But these would be the I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. Um, that's not true. I am going to try, but I am going to paste it first.
Hmm.
Um, these are your um little friends, the Geni Kukalati, I think is how you say that. Not entirely sure. I
No,
don't
never
speak
mind.
Gaulish. But
I
yeah,
believe the first word is like Jedi, because it's like
Geni,
genius,
that
because
would
it's
make
as in
sense.
intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Kukalati. All right, I will take the person with the English degree. English degree.
What do you mean? What
Um,
do you mean English? Mine's creative writing.
Whoops.
that's a form of English.
Creative writing is not a part of any specific language.
That's fair.
I did write in English.
That's fair.
um, but you do recognize them as that, and as you're kind of sitting there and taking a look at it, these people probably had a lot of the similar effects from those skellimans that you may or may not have let out beforehand. Um, so it's just uncovering them or simply trying to wake them up naturally might just break whatever enchantment was on there from the Nementon, for lack of a better term, dying.
Hmm.
But
Well, I mean, seeing as they seem to be connected to my place, I want them awake or alive, assuming maybe they're semi-dead because the place was dead. I don't know.
um, so do you just go up to one and kind of just uncover them type thing, or try to wake them up?
Yeah, I was debating between that and I don't know, trying to say something inspiring, but I am tired as a player and I can't come up with anything inspiring to say to rouse them.
That is perfectly understandable. As you approach one, and uncover it, waking it up for a moment, it hops, for lack of a better term, to attention, which is still amusing because again, these people are a quarter to like a fifth of depending of like a person size, depending on the people that you've interacted with. Um, and shortly after this one does, all of the rest of them get up. And he's this small figure is speaking in Gaulish. As you would expect. But he goes, alrighty then. Are you the new member of the house or new master of the house?
It would seem so.
Excellent, excellent. Well, then I guess that your nap has been long enough. I am Tinkamaros. If you need anything of me or my compatriots here, you just let us know. How long have we been asleep?
A long time, my friend.
Oh dear. Oh, and then like this small individual begins kind of going around and alrighty then. Looks like we've got a decent amount of work to do, lads. Let's go ahead and get up, get ready, and get going. Let's go ahead and take an inventory in regards to it. And he starts just kind of going forward, organizing the people as these people begin getting out of bed and grabbing kind of off of a rack that was kind of tucked away a little bit, which is kind of easy to miss given how small that these people are. A bunch of hooded robes, which do kind of have a bit of a mushroom top at the top. Um, mushroom shaped top, rather. But they all
Hmm.
kind of gather their robes, and he kind of just goes, alrighty, you three begin going through the area. You two go ahead and head out back, kind of get an idea of what's going on there, and he just starts going at a lot of the different things. Um,
Omnos raises a figure and opens his mouth to comment on the shape of the robes, but then just sort of closes it and shakes his head and drops the subject, figuring that maybe that's not the smart move here.
You raise a finger to talk about the shapes of the robes, and you just hear in the back of your head, "Don't do it."
And for clarity's sake, they're kind of phallic shaped.
Yes. But after the small figure is given a bunch of orders, Tinkamaros turns over to you and goes, "All right. Well, as the new master of the area, a lot of this will be shaped to your whims, however that you want to, given that this is your realm. However, if there's any changes or anything that we can do in order to make it more to your liking, you just let us know and we will help you out where we can. Some of us are trained fighters as well, so do not hesitate to call on us as you need them. But yeah.
There was one more detail that I was kind of thinking would make sense for the place as well, and that would be sort of like a book or a ledger, and it's really old looking, and the writing in it is no longer, in a readable state, but the pages are still good to be written on, and it would contain the names of those who have sworn oaths to Omnas.
All right. So oaths previously. So it's kind of strange as you touch in regards to it as you touch it. A lot of the writing, as you mentioned before, is illegible. Through various points, but it's kind of like as you look at it, as your hand brushes over it, and you flip to the beginning. There are three names of direct individuals. In order, there is Reese, where it's very open-ended in regards to kind of like the little note type of thing. But there isn't a check mark next to it. There is Nani, where it does mention the specifics, or at least in shorthand. Where and then there's kind of like an aspect of on this little Excel like sheet. There is a part where it's like I have done my bit, and then there's where there's a check mark, and then next to that check mark is an empty spot for have they paid have they paid in kind type of thing.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Lou with a little asterisk where it's where at the bottom it says was not put in a mythical binding contract, but it does say Lou, and then it does mention helped defend helped defend them, and then there's checks in both of those areas of the following type of thing. But as you kind of flip through some of the back ones, I will have to think on this later, so I do not have any of the names off of the top of my head. But there are a couple of somewhat legible names. You might be able to, if you have someone else maybe take a look, be able to kind of guess whether it's Reese who may understand Gaulish, or whether it's someone like whether it's someone that's probably got a little bit more investigation in such things.
Actually, I think I can make myself understand it.
Probably. But that being said, again, I, as the storyteller, do not have this information on hand.
It's okay.
So, but with that being said, what do you do for the rest of your 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, I think probably spend the time trying to clean the place up as best I can. Maybe getting to know these gnomes, as I'm gonna refer to them, a bit more, like who they are, individuals, what they usually do, and what they might need, and what they can do for me, etc., etc. So just becoming more familiar with the place, and maybe also revisiting old memories that aren't really mine but are mine.
Some of the interesting aspects about it is it's a variety of personalities. There's
Mm-hmm.
some that who tried it late. There are some who are put on cleaning duty that you know are probably more of the fighting type. And because they're put on cleaning duty, they're not exactly happy that they're on cleaning duty, so they're kind of shirking it off a little bit because they know that someone's going to come and take care of it. You find that there's some people who rather enjoy their jobs and what they're doing. A lot of them do stop what they're doing to help you as necessary to answer some of your questions. Um, Tink, as he says, he like you can call them that. Tink does seem to be the person in command of these people, kind of the jack of all trades and the delegator. As for what they need, they're just happy to be awake again, doing
Mm-hmm.
something, type of thing. Don't let them get too idle, is pretty much what they say.
Mm.
They like to help.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Also, oversleeping sucks.
it does.
And they
Um,
have overslept by a lot.
mhm. Um, it is kind of expected, but as you kind of think about it, the rogues are a sore spot for them, and it doesn't matter that you are their boss, they will attack you if you make a comment on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will attack anyone who makes a comment on it, so it might be wise to, if you invite your compatriots in, to let them know about that. Um, But as for what they can do, they mention a lot of what they'll do here is if they're not being used, they will keep this place spick and span for as you need it.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of the things that they do, they are going to apologize. They can't really get a lot of the equipment back up. It has just been too long, even in
Yeah.
this mystically enchanted place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anything that you need say, for safekeeping, they will do their best to keep safe, type
Yeah.
of thing, and so on and so forth. It's kind of like having servants, but servants that don't mind telling you off on occasion or just being completely honest and upfront and frank with you, type of thing, is kind of the vibe that you're getting
It
from
is
these
type.
people. But yeah, as you kind of go through and get to your Nementon, at any point you can take a step out for where it is that you want to go and contact your buds, because I'm sure Reese has given you a cell phone and you guys have exchanged numbers at this point.
Well, I think it would be more so that Omnos will occasionally pop out to see if anyone's trying to contact him more so than him trying to contact anyone else.
Understandable.
And
Um,
I assume there's not much of a reception in his own world.
Fun fact, there is an item that
Ask the gnomes to build a cell tower.
there is an item that it is a relic that is based off of the Allerhorn, Heimdall's horn,
Mm-hmm.
and it is what allows you to have cell surface in Terra Incognita.
Yeah, well, I don't have it, so
No.
I pop into. Ooh, um, sorry, there was a corgi that was about to flow down onto the floor. But yes, that's why I pop back into the world every once in a while to check.
Understandable.
Good
But
evening,
yeah.
Ragnar. Thank you for joining in.
So it is a relatively nice day. It is a relatively nice time as you kind of watch your stuff come together.
Yep.
Um, and then we will head on over to we'll go to Lou first. I know we ended with Lou with
Okay.
Virginia sending a text message, can you teach me to fight, type of thing, or
Liz
help me fight.
sends her an address, which is basically the place where Shan and Makoto teach. It's just like, yeah, meet me there tomorrow morning.
Before we get into scenes between you two, is there anything that Lou would like to handle on their own time?
Um,
No is a perfectly acceptable answer.
probably gonna at least tell my uncle about the interaction I had.
You kind of start off.
It's like, hey, so
And
may
as you
have
kind
learned a
Go ahead.
thing.
It's kind of an interesting talk as he's kind of sitting there and it's like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
So,
And then you mention,
so I met Sun Wukong.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I repeat that.
Why?
So apparently he's the reason I can explode chairs. And
Oh. Mhm.
he said that he might need my help with some stuff, and I could keep the chair exploding powers if I help.
Oh, huh. I'm sure you probably be able to keep those anyway. But
I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm just guessing. But
Also, he said the shoes were his.
yeah, that tracks. Because, Cloud, like, do you fly?
Not right now, but I do say,
Okay.
yeah. He said there's a password to make them fly.
Huh. That tracks, and I wasn't expecting that. For the first time that you have given like a lot of these weird out of nowhere things, whether it's I can explode chairs, whether it's that, for the first time, Uncle Shen's just like, you know what? No, and he just needs to sit down for a moment to process.
That's fair.
And he goes, oh, okay.
He gave
This
me
is
he gave me the option to say no.
that's good at least.
I didn't.
It happens. I mean, it's helping people, right?
I sure hope so. I mean, he didn't. That's what he implied. But, he's a trickster of sorts.
Yeah, less to us and more to any kind of just points upwards.
Yeah.
Like, he's fun and he does like a lot of mischievous little things, but it's mostly going in and getting the things that he was promised and being a general shit about it in some cases.
Yeah.
Alright. Shoot, okay. But no, I mean, I figured that if it was to help people, I think that I personally, however much that this matters, think that you made a good decision. But we'll see what the recommend or what the consequences of that are. They come up, I suppose.
Yeah. And, yeah, I had a thought in my mind and it just disappeared.
Well, if it comes back, you can call it and we can address that note. Then.
Yeah.
Do you inform him that there may be a guest coming?
Yeah. Oh, also, one of my friends said that she wants to learn how to use, pulls out phone. Did Virginia say what kind of weapon that she wanted to use?
I think so, yeah. Hold on.
Naginata?
Do you have some
Actually,
kind of
the
teaching
text-
for martial arts?
Yeah, the
Or-
text
Yeah.
wasn't specific.
So she said something about wanting to learn some martial arts. Could you maybe, like, give us some help?
Yeah, sure. Depending on the martial arts it is, I'm sure Makoto would also appreciate that. Just
Yeah.
a little bit. Right. Okay, well, until they arrive, let's get to work. And then because you guys have lived together for a majority of these weeks,
Mhm.
Virginia, is there anything that you wanted to do before scenes with Lou and their family?
I don't think there's anything in particular that I want to do beforehand or
Okay.
in between. Um, but yeah, I would probably uh, pop by. Is it a dojo or something?
I think it's technically a dojo when Makoto's in charge, but
Hmm.
when Shen is in charge, the word I found for it was kun.
I'm not
It is
familiar
kind
with
of. It is
It's
kind of.
kind of both.
Hmm.
Yeah, it depends on who's being the teacher at the moment.
Mm.
But it is kind of a wide open space. There are mirrors on a wall type of thing. It is at the moment
The
marginally
floor is
small.
basically all mat.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. It is marginally small type of thing.
Hmm.
For what it is, which is not necessarily a comment on the
The
fact that they
class
don't have a lot of
it's
people. It's more space being
the
available.
classes are usually like a dozen people.
Mhm. However, at least today at this time, because it's still what time do you head over, Virginia, actually?
Um, depends really on what Lucian says to me in response.
I mean, as so when are you free, basically?
Okay. In that case, like, can I swing over this afternoon?
Yeah, right.
Um, and when I get there, um, I probably like try and find like a front door to ring the doorbell or knock on the door.
It's pretty open end type of thing to come in.
Okay, then
Um,
probably will stay by the doorway and knock on the door frame.
Lou
Excuse me.
probably sees you immediately. It's like, hey, Virginia, over here.
Hi, Lou. So, oh, some
do
shit's
you
been
step
happening.
do you step inside afterwards?
um, realizing that, like, this is just immediately, like, straw mats, correct?
Yeah.
Then I take off my shoes and socks, and I
There's a
will
space to put them.
Mhm.
do so and join Lucian inside.
I will say Shen and Makoto are here should you wish
Mm.
to speak to either of them, Virginia, given
Oh,
your particular
mhm.
history.
Then
Lou does start with like, so this is where I learned basically everything I know.
wow. And
That's my uncle Chen, and that's my aunt Makoto.
I will do a quick bow to both of them, like I've seen Miss Chie perform.
Makoto will take note. Both Chen and Makoto will take note.
Mhm.
But Makoto is the one that will speak up and go. Um, Perfectly understandable. It's not just to us. It is to the building. When you enter the building next time, go ahead and after you come in through the doorway, bow at the door. Um,
My apologies.
and no worries. This is
I should
probably your first time somewhere.
I should have mentioned in the text.
You should have known better. Yes.
Mm.
Um, but she kind of takes you through some of the beginning aspects to it. And as she kind of points over to the doorway,
Mhm.
um, you see Virginia kind of just like a happy little Kami sitting, like kind of floating at the top of the doorway, just kind of sitting there and observing and watching.
In that case, seeing this, I will turn towards this Kami And I will bow to the kami.
Okay, Kami seems to visibly relax a little bit. But she goes, like, at least to us, while we do appreciate and we do understand the tradition in regards to it, it does not have to be quite so deep. This is more of a combination of things. It is appreciated. Do continue doing it, and she kind of shows about the depth of the bow that she expects.
I went about 45 degrees. It's about 30. That's needed.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So I think I'll keep my wood carving knife to myself just yet.
Mhm.
Understandable, because even if you had pulled it out, Makoto would be like, "That is very interesting. Put that away. We're teaching you how to do it with your hands first."
Mm-hmm.
um,
Also, this is new and exciting, and I want to show Lou.
Probably
understand.
also notice that Lou is like standing a lot more confidently than you've seen them before.
I think in that sense, you would notice that, whereas Virginia has always been able to slip into like corners and nooks and crannies and shadows, she seems much more like you feel like if you take your attention away from Virginia, she might just disappear.
If someone walks in front of you, you'll be edited out of the scene.
I could be, yeah.
Yeah. So, basics.
And it is definitely a rough type of thing for a first day, because you have to get the positions just right. And there is some aspects about like how you're supposed to move your hands type thing, and you stay there for a little bit. Various people come in for classes, which is kind of easy to see more people kind of do what's within their physical capabilities. And they kind of come in, you watch some of it, and then they kind of go out. But definitely.
Lou is also
What?
helping where he can.
Mm-hmm.
I've
But
also
it's just
like I've taken a little bit of martial arts classes, judo and jiu-jitsu, and what I remember like of the first lessons was you need to learn how to fall.
So I'm gonna throw you a bunch, okay?
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll be nice.
Okay.
It's definitely a combination of things, because it's like learning how to fall, and then the other part of it is kind of like learning where your mass is in relation to it. So it's generally whereas like some of it, as you kind of ask questions, like basic questions like throwing a punch, is kind of like, this is how you sit there and do that, but we're not focusing on that today. You're going to stand in horse stance, and then Lou's gonna throw you, and then you're gonna stand in horse stance, and Lou's gonna throw you.
Yep.
Type of thing.
It is. It is definitely teaching Virginia a lesson on how to accept embarrassment as well.
It might be different in regards to limitations, because it's kind of like, as you start, Lou's tossing around relatively easily, and then you kind of sit there and like and get down a little bit, and then because of one, probably the height difference.
I
And
think
two,
first time you're just like, where am I?
What?
What happened? Why am I upside down?
and then two, as you kind of get used more to the stance, and doing it, like Lou has to change where like the difference in regards to how they're throwing you. It is still easy for Lou at this point, because of Lou's experience, but it's definitely like you do kind of take notice. It's not like there's a lot of progress, but there is visual progress this first day.
And every time you do make progress, Lou is very supportive.
That'll keep me going. Yeah.
It's like, you're getting it, yeah.
There's this almost a little like at the start is more of like a sheepish grin, like sure, okay, but I'm Virginia's getting into it. Yeah.
Mhm. Lu's just happy to share one of their hobbies with someone that they know.
But yeah, however long that you go about it in regards to the afternoon, Virginia, whatever it is, the next day you wake up sore. You didn't do a whole lot except get thrown around, and in regards to it, there are even places where it's just kind of like, this must be because of how the stance was, in comparison to, nope, that one on my back, that is from when Lou threw me here, type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think that morning I will. I think I did bring Senka no Kiridashi, my newly gifted wood carving knife. I'll take it out the next morning, and realizing that there was this like kami that I saw at Lucian's. I think I want to inspect and try and see if I can find, like, if I can see the kami of my wood carver's knife.
It doesn't take much. It's kind of like, what's a good way to put it? It's kind of like when you take a deep breath, and as you're kind of going on a walk, you focus not on just kind of what you're going through, but you kind of sit there and put out your senses to hear the what's it called, the environs around you. Like you hear the birds off in the distance, type of thing. It's kind of like extending a sense that's already there, changing your focus. And as you kind of do, especially since you're looking for kami, you notice that there's one in your wood carving knife. There's one hanging around your pocket where the coin is. There's stuff in your furniture, in the house. It's everywhere. Some are small, some are bigger, type of thing. Is kind of take a look outside and you see wherever it is that you are, kind of stuff that might have a little bit more of a lasting presence, or something that's been there for a little bit might have a kami that's bigger. There's some that might be for like a big building off in the distance that kind of keeps that the kami itself chooses to keep itself smaller and humanoid. But as you kind of sit there and take a look around, you can see them. And it's more of when you don't want to and you need to kind of keep your focus in on the moment. As you kind of sit there and practice for a little bit, it is kind of like a move back and forth type of thing. It's kind of like plucking a string on a connection type of aspect.
I think I would like to something like converse.
What do you say? Into which one?
I think I will speak to realizing that the coin has it as well, like everything around me, but especially like the coin, which is like the carver's knife, several centuries old. I think I'll take both of them out and I'll try and say good morning.
Both of them respond with good morning. It's kind of an instinctual thing, because they seem to understand you, though based on their origins. It's they speak closer in Japanese. For the sake of the audience, I am not going to speak what little Japanese that I know. But
speaking of, I was thinking the way of switching from the carving knife to the naginata would be me saying shitsude shimasu, which means like sorry for bothering you.
Understandable. Um, but it's kind of like as either you continue conversing with them or taking a look at it. The coin kami, it's kind of strange because I don't know a lot of the different shapes and things that kami can take, but you kind of get the idea of the wanderlust traveler type of thing. Somebody that's gone forward, met a lot of people, is the type of person to go to a village and be able to get a night's worth of sleep somewhere in shade, no matter what the size of the village is, whether or not there is a room in an inn type of thing. Just somebody that's giving and just wants to go out and see things. The vibe that you get from the wood carving knife is a soldier on leave would be kind of the better vibe. In this form, it's a person that's just minding their own business. They want to sit there and create things to chase their hobbies.
That used to be very important with samurai.
And if you change it while you're sitting here waiting type of thing, it shifts to the soldier the soldier in active duty type of thing. It becomes serious, it becomes more to the point, more direct type of thing, pardon the pun. It's definitely kind of like it still is the same person or same kami, but it's in its two different forms,
Right.
type of thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that day I'll head to Lucian's, and as I get there, I will try and see if I can spot the kami and bow again.
Generally speaking, it's kind of like because of the way that dojos or the way that martial arts studios are and have been, it is quite easy to us. Like the presence here is much stronger than it is elsewhere.
Right. Makes sense.
So it's definitely like you don't have to stretch your sense anywhere near to the point to see to see where that is. But yeah. You go through in regards to some training, you're able to throw hands a little bit today.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I couldn't hear it very well.
I said you kind of start some as you kind of go through on the second day, you can throw hands a little bit today. Like it's not much, but it's definitely kind of like a couple of it's more focusing on kind of grabbing the building blocks in regards to okay, this is how your arm needs to be, this is how it is. And it's kind of going through different parts of your body. And that's generally what it's going to be like for the next type of thing is kind of just a little bit more, especially as you're able to spend more time. Since you're going in the morning, they will definitely give you guys breaks. So if Lou and Virginia want to talk on something on their own, that's not, you know, showing Virginia the force of compaction force against Makoto or Shen, who can probably deal with it a little bit more. You guys are free to do so.
Right.
You definitely rest and food.
I definitely think that while we're having maybe lunch that day, I look over at Lou. Like I definitely noticed that there's much more more confidence. And I say, so something happened 2 days ago. Well, no, yesterday.
Okay. You alright?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever felt better, but it's weird.
At how familiar that sounds, that just kind of narrows his eyes a little and goes, okay.
So I ran into someone approached me. I thought they were offering me a job.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a little bit more substantial. And this is kind of like the reason why I came to you. They gave me this, and I will bring out Senka no Kiridashi, the very well lacquered sheath of holding a wood carving knife. It's
I imagine Lou's probably like able to tell it's well made.
Very well made.
It's black lacquer with I think it would have a very stylized rendition of like a rice field with a fox running through it.
Oh, some put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how old it is, but it is very old. But this isn't all of it. And I think like if we're sitting at a table, I will make sure that there's room enough.
I think Lou would be like, maybe somewhere less people.
Right, yeah.
Like around a corner or something.
Okay. Then holding it vertically, I will say Shitsurei shimasu. And as I kind of turn it around, it shifts and elongates, turning into a large spear shaft of red lacquered wood with red red cord wrapping, and then at the end I think the blade of it is about 40 centimeters. 40. That's about a foot and 4 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Holding a full, a perfectly sized naginata for my frame.
It just kind of stares there wide-eyed like, yo, that's so cool.
Right. So this is
And it just turns into a knife.
it does. This is
That's so cool.
Senka no Kiridashi, or Senka's wood carving knife. I think Senka used to be a follower of Inari, which Inari showed up. She's like
I don't know what that is.
that is like she's a big deal in the Japanese religion.
That it's like something just clicks in Lou's eyes and he goes, oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh. This is like yesterday, is it?
Yeah.
In the morning?
Yeah. Wait, what? Did something happen to you?
So
Did she? Did they?
have you heard of a guy called Sun Wukong?
Can I make a culture check on that?
I'm gonna ask if you want to make a culture check on that, or if you just want Virginia to know. Because
He's pretty well.
Dragon Ball exists.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yes. Um,
And it is pretty common knowledge that Son Wukong or that Son Goku is based on Son Wukong.
I mean, I've heard of him, yeah? What?
Might have said hi.
Oh, that is awesome.
I know,
What?
right?
I think we should tell Omnos.
Oh yeah, probably wherever he is. I don't know where he is.
Maybe.
Did he go? Did he go through the weird door again? Probably.
I think so. I should try and see
I
if
don't know.
Miss Chie can get a hold of him.
Yeah, I don't know how the weird door works.
Neither do I. It's
Like I said, I figured at this point Reese would have made sure that Omnos has a phone, so if you guys need to get a hold of Omnos, you send a text message and then it just says, like, what happens at the bottom is it's retrying to send over and over and over again.
right.
At some point, this goes. So what's an RDU? What's the like thing?
What do you mean? What thing?
Hey, what? You know, said that their religion thing, right?
Yeah?
I don't know anything about
Oh,
this.
so Inari is like a fox spirit, but not a kitsune. Kind of like
Right.
step above. And
Okay.
they do like a lot with rice as well. Kind of like kami of prosperity.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Rice, blacksmithing, all sorts of different things throughout history, type of thing that eventually kind of comes forward. Especially if you guys decide to Google it,
Oh yeah.
or sorry, search engine it.
Brandless search engine, go.
I imagine that Lou only uses the internet when he has access to Wi-Fi. Because
That's fair. Yeah, data
because
can get expensive.
data's expensive.
Oh yeah.
Lou does not have money normally.
I think through one of my contacts, I may have gotten something set up that I have free internet up to a certain point. But yeah, I'm checking that out and trying to. I think I would like to search if I can find anything on Senka, the courtesan Scion of Inari.
Given the world that you're in, it is easy enough to find information. Like, there is no role necessary. Major scions of gods previously, if it is still part of their story, that is, are still easy enough to find.
Okay.
So if you want to tell people about Senka, because you know more about Senka than I do, go for it.
I think the thing that is most obvious in searching for her is that there's like these stories of renowned like there's geisha, which are more artists, but not necessarily courtesans in the carnal way. However, Senka used to be a sex worker that was also known for her skills of fighting, of weaponry, as well as wood carving. And I think we would find like one or two pictures of art that was made by Senka that is now housed in like there's one in like a Japanese museum, and I think there's also one like on loan to the British Museum somewhere in London here now.
The V&A might have like an event on as well that's related. They sometimes do that.
They do, yeah.
Eventually, the message goes through as Omnos gains service again, and you do get a message from whichever one of them sent the message during the span of the 2 weeks as they're kind of learning and going through this.
So that was mainly a message like, hey, we should hang out / join up at Lucian's family dojo. Like we're training there. You should come join.
Come say hi.
Yeah.
Does Omnos know where that is?
I think I would have sent like the address along with it. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like just put that along as like a separate message.
Copy paste it from the text that they sent you.
Well, I think that as soon as Omnos gets that, he will attempt to make his way there.
Yeah, it's easy enough. The talking box in your hand. I'm kidding. You're familiar enough with technology at this point. But it is easy to it's easy enough to get over to Omnos's place, where probably what happens is, or Omnos, to get over to Shen's place, Shen and Makoto's, where there's probably at some point where as you kind of look in, it might be a small class that's there at the moment, and I don't know if it's Lou in Virginia sparring or Makoto in Virginia sparring, or
It was probably also brought up that like maybe because you were interested in pole arms, maybe we should try and teach with the staff at some point.
That's where I'm headed. Yep.
Makoto agrees. But Makoto does kind of say that a lot of the staff work is extensions of the foundations.
Yeah, not immediately. I mean, like later.
I think that's what I want to start, like, learn to get to focus on.
Okay. But yeah, Makoto will keep that in mind, type thing. As I took Kenpo for a semester in college, and that was kind of what they told me there too. Was we're going to get the hand-to-hand stuff as the staff stuff is a extension of that type of thing.
Understandable.
But whether it's Virginia and someone else that's practicing sparring type of thing or not, you do kind of hear the and it's not familiar to Omnos, I don't think, but there is the slamming of bodies on mats type of thing in various forms. But it's different, but it's a comforting kind of different, kind of like the smell of warm food, whether it's not of what people have sat there and made in regards to it, or like a gentle song type of thing, or a warm breeze, or the sound of different aspects of water. It's different than, say, what Omnos or Ognius would be used to, but it is kind of familiar and comforting in a sense that these are people that are working. It's fighting, yeah.
Not a style I'm used to, but the essence of it is still.
People are hitting things.
Yeah, I can get behind this.
Yeah.
I will say you do have enough observation to notice the place for shoes, and that everyone is barefoot as they enter, type of thing.
Well, I will be respectful enough to remove shoes and be barefoot. Don't think Omnos minds.
Do we not?
Seeing you doing that, I think Virginia just like rushes up to you and says, also, bow when you enter the building. That's a thing.
That gives Omnos a second, like, you know, a second of like, wait, what? And then he
And
just
I think-
sort of complies with it. He doesn't
comes
argue.
over a bit slower and is just like, it's just a politeness thing. Don't worry about it.
I think as I say that, I am like pointing at the kami that I know is there.
Which you see, no one else does.
Luke doesn't know about the kami. It's like, it's just a politeness thing.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's not just a politeness thing.
It's not?
Kami actually speaks to you. Was like, well, it is. I mean, it's kind of like
But you're
acknowledging that I'm
here.
here. Well, yeah, it's polite to me.
Exactly. I'm talking.
Well, I think
The building has. The building has a kami.
Considering
A spirit.
Omnos's background, I think means that he's dealt with various creatures with various demands for different rituals of showing respect. He doesn't question. It's just like, well, you know what? You tell me to bow, take the custom. Well, you know, you adapt to the custom where you're at. Sort
He's
of
just
thing.
looking up at the door, trying to see it and failing. Huh. Spending the whole time?
I think I
Oh,
think there's
yeah.
a fair chance of Omnos standing out a bit as well with his height. So probably very noticeable when he enters.
Your presence is also large, and Omnos is not the
True.
one to hide himself.
Nope. Even less so now, I would say. I would say that there's like he had a presence before, and it's even more so now.
We're gonna talk here. I mean, this is pretty busy. Trying to, like,
Wait,
hang out. We're training.
I'm always down for some fighting.
Like,
We can spar a bit, I guess.
I'll spar with you.
Sounds good, and you know,
Yeah.
stereotypical cracking of knuckles.
Luke's gonna fucking die.
I was gonna say, if you guys want to see how well it goes, go ahead and make your preferred fighting checks. Might be close combat for Omnos. I don't remember. I think loose dexterity.
Yeah.
Close combat.
+1. That's a 2. He's not taking this seriously. No way.
Ooh.
And Omnos is.
Yeah.
Omnos is just like, yeah, no,
That's,
fuck that shit.
It's +1 to that one as well.
Yeah. If I know
Or
that
no,
both
never
of you,
mind. He's not using weapons, is he? So
that's fair. But yeah, it's part of the thing is that a lot of people that have been after you, Lou, or people that have watched you fight and have probably gone to a lot of the same classes. Omnos is just an entirely different beast.
It's like trying to punch a wall.
Pretty
well,
much.
I think it's also, you know, I would assume Omnos is working off of memories as well, and whatever style of combat he's doing does not exist anymore. Like, that tradition has died out. So, it's not like boxing, it's just different. I can't say what it is, though, because, you know, I don't know.
Lou just picks himself off the floor and is like, yo, you gotta teach me some of that shit.
Happy to anytime. For a bit of a cost.
Yeah.
In regards to like how some of the stuff is, Makoto will kind of kindly ask Omnos, because of Omnos's size, to kind of just go through some basic drills with Virginia, just to get the size differential there, because it's always, you want to mix it up, you want to fight people of different heights, things like that. So, but yeah, after a while, again, there comes time for a break, either between classes.
I would say though that because I mean, observing the room and style of combat of everyone else here, I mean, I think Omnos would also just know that this is not something that he's familiar with either. So he would make an offer to Lou that he will teach Lou if Lou promises to teach him in return
Okay.
with an oath.
You gonna pull out the rod?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
It's
Ew,
like, okay,
gross.
right. Yes.
And then he's also gonna be like, and you know, we never did make a formal deal of that previous time.
I will
Yeah,
call
no.
that deal null and void because it was nonsense.
But no, it has to help.
Do
So
you
you
not
want
do you not
help?
see
I'm trying to be respectful.
very problematic.
But yeah, if Lou does end up doing that, then I guess bound by oath will apply.
Yeah.
Will Lou intends to stick to their word, so they're fine with it.
So basically, you get a +1 enhancement to all rolls working towards fulfilling the oath.
Hmm.
And I need to beat up a monster for you, I guess, because I was a
No,
werewolf.
this particular oath is you get a +1 enhancement to teach Omnos, and you get a
Okay.
+1 enhancement to learn from Omnos.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the other deal was to I can't even remember what
It was
Omnos
help
demanded.
me beat up the werewolf.
Yes. And what did he demand in return, or did he not state that?
We didn't really come up with a
Oh, shit.
a thing for it, but Lou was like, "I have to beat something up for you now, right?" I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. But...
Something of equal worth.
Yeah. Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So there are 2 oaths being made here.
Okay.
One
Cool.
about teaching and one about beating up something equivalent to a werewolf on Omnus's behalf. Or helping out with it, not necessarily beating it, but
That's probably how Lou will phrase it, is just beat it up.
You don't know this because you're somewhere else right now, but the asterisk is erased from the ledger as right beneath Lou's name is put again, and it's teach fighting, be
Mhm.
taught fighting, and then
Yeah.
yeah, but after a little bit, you guys do end up getting a break after a moment. So you guys, if you wanted to, could go off somewhere private and talk.
Yeah, Omnus will probably not really say anything, but rather, like, you know, wait for the others to
Let's go
make
get
their.
some lunch. And probably go to the same place again.
We need to find a name. We need to get a name for it.
Place off to the side, or sorry, what? I was.
The same place as before we went for lunch.
Oh, yeah, the cafe, or the
Yeah.
place that.
The place earlier today.
Okay, gotcha.
And by earlier today, I mean in game yesterday or whatever.
Right.
It might have been a couple of days since then. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we have the 2 weeks during which we're starting to
Yeah.
learn all of the things.
Yeah. So, you guys go forward, sit down. I presume Virginia pays because of the coin.
Because of the coin? Yep.
Coin seems quite happy to be used. Something that you notice.
I'm very glad that it feels that way.
Yeah. So, how do you address to Omnos, the person that was walking forward and is like, "I am the second coming of God"?
Hey, God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he hasn't explained what has
Yeah.
happened on his end yet.
So,
I don't think.
Oh, I was just talking about I was just talking about the attitude from the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Just look over there like you want to go first.
I guess. I glance over at Omnos, and like that swagger is very obvious. Glance over at Lou, back at
Up,
Omnos.
two thumbs up.
Say Omnos.
Hmm?
Did anything happen to you X days ago in the morning?
I mean, stuff happens all the time.
Yeah, but
Well,
not
I
all
mean,
the
I
time
suppose
stuff.
I did sort of remember that I'm a god. Sort of. Yeah.
Oh,
happened.
you
That's a bit okay. Cool.
okay?
Cool.
I mean,
Which
we
one?
just met gods. You say you
Oh yeah, I did
are
that too.
what? Ah,
Yeah, turns out an old friend of mine, or sort of mine, memory of mine. Yeah, so
okay.
so basically the wheel's turning again, he says, as though that means anything to either of you.
It just says, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Is Robert Jordan in this world? As in, is the Wheel of Time in this world?
Of course it is. I'm a big fan of the Wheel of Time. That
Same.
being said, anyone, Virginia
Mhm.
and Lou, if you would like to, you could make a intelligence or cunning in culture or academics check of your choice.
Mhm.
Any combination of those.
It's gonna
Two
have
successes.
to be cutting for me because I'm shit at intelligence.
That's why I gave the option.
Culture.
Oh.
Okay.
Somehow I have heard of this.
Mhm.
Well, it's not necessarily this. But there's a lot of symbology in a lot of different things, whether it's a
Mhm.
wheel turning type of thing. And as kind of Omnos fumbles a little bit with this is what trying to figure out a way to find an analogy for the cultural divide. Lou catches onto it first, and Virginia a little whiles afterwards, but the Deva
this-
believe in reincarnation.
It's like if the Buddha thing.
Oh, no. So, basically, there used to be a religion, well, we used to be sort of related to the Celtic gods, I guess you could say, but the Gaulish gods, some of them, I guess, still live, but we, as in, yeah, we were killed off, and so
And now you're
and the wheel was
unkilled.
broken. So, but now I'm awake again.
You reincarnated.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
That's-
the wheel is turning again, and
That's-
remembering some of it, and
That's metal.
this is also why I hate certain gods.
I see.
Oh,
Because
that's why you
being
keep
killed kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth, even if you
That's
do
why
come
you
back.
keep going on about killing the whatever the fuck they were called. I don't care.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. So I met a kami, like a Japanese god, and Lucian met Sun Wukong.
The Monkey King.
There's a
Nods.
voice. There's kind of like a voice in the backwards. It goes, "Handsome Monkey King, 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 King."
Yeah.
Okay, if I hear that voice, I want to see if there's like a kami
You don't
flowing.
hear that voice. Just Lou.
Just Lou. Okay.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Some Monkey King.
Omnos gives Lou a bit of a, if he hears, it gives him a bit of a, like, what?
It's
Sort of
kind of
look.
like a one of the Chinese sort of gods.
Alright, well,
He said hi and asked if I wanted to do stuff for him, and yeah.
now, my memory, well, isn't what it used to be once upon a time, I'm sure. But seems like a lot of people are making a lot of moves just about the same time as I'm waking up.
Yeah,
Does seem
I
to
thought
be
that
the
was a bit
case, yeah.
I thought that was a bit weird too. So.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was quite like a weird coincidence when what happened to me happened to Lou at the same time, and then there's you
Yeah.
as well. So I think I need to talk to Miss Chie and to Nani maybe, to see if they had anything happen. Did anything happen to your uncle and aunt, Lou?
No,
Okay, well we can cross that.
it's just me as far as I know from my thought. Unless my sisters are keeping big secrets.
Your sister?
Sisters too.
Okay.
They haven't been talking about weird shit happening to them though, so.
At the moment, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, alright. So what were y'all guys called? Pointing at Omnos.
My god, or me,
Wait,
or
who were you?
I was Ogmius.
Right. I
I
do not recognize that name.
Or was. I'm not entirely sure yet. He says with a shrug.
The awkward silence reigns for a while. It's like,
A lot to digest. It's
Indeed.
A lot to digest.
Yeah, you might have been right with the whole Scion thing.
Well, I guess the bigger question is why? Why now? And what's going on?
There was also that, blue dragon lady?
Yeah, Azure Room.
Oh, yeah. Not that I don't think
my guy brought her up.
Really?
Ogma didn't bring that one up, did
Yeah.
he?
Said
A
something
storyteller.
Said something about I think uncle or something making moves. Supposedly like a big crime boss or something. But like supernatural.
Interesting.
He might be the dragon that gave him the cloud walking boots.
Storyteller? Can I make some sort of check to see if I remember anything or know anyone from past lives who might know anything about dragon?
About that specific dragon, no. About dragons in general, you can if you'd like.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. That's. Oh, hold on. You have something for this, don't you? In regards. Oh no. Okay, that has to do with if you do a long-term deed. Okay, I was supposed to be like, "Ooh, this is exciting! You get to do." Oh no, that's right. Okay. So, what you can do, as I'm taking a look at past life skills here,
Mm-hmm.
is you can imbue a legend, which means that when you're done using this, you get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And you can grab a specialization, a skill, even if that skill doesn't have any dots in it.
Well,
Oh,
3 skills,
wow.
but yes.
Up to 3 skills, yes.
Yeah.
So, if you want to, this will be an occult roll.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just grab dragons for 3 different skills.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Um, so what does it look like when Omnos manifests their internal divinity, so to speak, or use this ability? As you're trying to
Um,
recall, because this is actively doing something.
yeah. Um, God, so I should have thought about this earlier, I feel. Um,
It's okay, we can retcon it later if it doesn't fit. I'm a fan of
yeah, I
retcon.
was thinking about something to do with the memento, but I'm not entirely sure.
No worries. We can think about it a little bit
Yeah.
later. I was just curious on if you had something in there. Um, But with that in mind, I'm going to make this an intellect occult roll, and you have enhancement 3 from academics, culture, and probably occult or subterfuge. I'm going to say subterfuge, dragons.
Alright, so intellect, occult, and
That's 7 successes in total.
Wow.
Past life skills is very useful.
yes.
Um, you so between the time, like you may have heard stories of Ao Guang specifically. He was a dragon king. He was cunning, manipulative, conniving. Um, but that didn't really surprise you when that came up, because a lot of dragons are that way. There's some that have been helpful to gods in the past, which actually kind of fills you with a little bit of rage, because Ares was known to have a dragon, or be tied to dragons in some cases.
The first word out of Omnos's mouth as, well, insert description is happening, or is done happening. It's just the fuckers with no context.
hmm but so some of the other aspects is that dragons were just as likely in some cases to betray the people around there as themselves. Stuff that was in the area, as Augamius was like Jormungandr is considered a dragon in this particular aspect.
Hmm.
They talk as well.
hmm So as you kind of sit there and are going through a lot of this information, dragons are varied, but as a whole, they don't really care for gods unless they themselves are somewhere within Ao Guang's case, the celestial bureaucracy.
Hmm.
He is a god. He is like mechanically, he's a god, he's a dragon, he's a titan. He's all 3 of them. Sometimes he wears the different hats in there. But they are cunning, they are secretive, they have the ability to shapeshift and to keep their things on there. And while some are willing to work with gods, a good majority of them do not like gods, because gods affect um, gods affect time retroactively. Is a good way to put it. For example, if Lu became a different god in the Shen, unless it was important for Lu's story to take place in the modern time, that would change the celestial bureaucracy to have always included Lu, type of thing. Same thing with Virginia. Less so with Omnos, because Omnos's faith is about reincarnation and rebirth, type of thing. But as a whole, part of the reason why is because dragons were on top, and then God started becoming a thing, and then because of defeats of dragons and stuff like that, like in Beowulf and stuff, gods had to kind of get shunted, or dragons were kind of shunted down into the shadows, and have been working, unless they're like outlawed, in the shadows since then. With 7 successes, that's a fucking lot. So
Yeah, after the very random the fucker, Omnos.
You can see Virginia just jerking back.
Oh, just remembered an old enemy as well.
Is that going to happen more often?
Quite possibly.
Alright.
But I think that the dragon might not necessarily like you guys, and I nod towards well, both of Lou and Virginia, and
Probably has extra reason to hate me. Out of character speaking. But in
Mhm.
character, it's like, oh. Well,
What-
that's a shame, but
well,
whoever would
actually,
like
dragons
to-
in general might not like you, like any of us, really. But you
right.
two pose a potential problem that I
Um,
don't as much.
Anyone who'd like to may make a retroactive cunning, empathy, or integrity check,
Okay.
specifically about Aojinru, if that's something that you guys are interested in.
2.
It's not going to go very well. 1.
Hey, not bad, not bad.
Nice.
You don't get the sense that, like, part of the thing about higher end people like that is she didn't seem, what's the word I'm looking for, antagonistic towards you. She seemed curious.
Hmm.
But also at that point, we hadn't had our god meetings.
Hmm.
Mechanically speaking, since no one has it, everyone will get flashes of it, especially if I'm reminded about it. There is something called Scent of the Divine.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an aspect where she may not have known that Lu specifically was a scion of Sun Wukong, and she may still not know that, but she knows that you were tied to the Shen. She knows that Virginia was tied to the Kami, and while she doesn't know what Omnos was necessarily tied to due to the differences in aspects and the fact that Omnos' pantheon's been dead for millennia, she knows Omnos is tied to Divinity somehow. But she seemed more curious than anything. You get the sense that Lou, it's kind of tough to pin it on it. You don't think. Let me take a look. Hiding emotions and tensions. Perfect. So with 3 successes here, you think that she might be less against the gods as a whole, and more that she's begrudgingly following her father because of historical roles type of thing. If that makes sense.
Like, maybe we could try talking to her again. Try and get some more information. Maybe? I don't know. I don't even know
don't
the
mind
language.
this particular dragon per se, so
I don't know how much crossover Chinese dragons have had with Greek gods, so shrug.
I guess so. But
could
didn't you
make for a
say?
mighty ally.
Did Lou say anything about like being careful of the dragon lady?
We should probably like keep our guard up,
Hmm.
but like maybe we can learn a bit more about what's going on if we see
Keeping
her
your
again.
guard up is, far as I know, wise counsel when it comes to most, well, gods, dragons, mythical beings in general.
Yeah,
Many of them
I
are
mean,
tricksters, and those who aren't, well, we all have our own goals and machinations, don't we? And then he sort of shrugs and says, "Well, but then again, we can also just beat them up if need be."
I'll let you know when I figure out what mine are.
I mean, I'm training, but I don't think I'm very good yet.
Now you're getting better.
Thank you.
You're breaking up real well, actually.
But since a lot of this stuff was handled relatively early, is there anything that anyone wants to handle for the next little bit?
I don't immediately have anything here, I think.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't think so.
All right. So, as you guys go through and do the things that you do, probably, so would you be going more to the dojo more often then?
Yeah, I mean, it depends a bit, I suppose, whether or not he would have some, like, if he knows that he can spar with someone, then of course that in and of itself is
I would say if you want to learn, it's a good place to learn.
Even then, given the opportunity doesn't necessarily come often a lot for Makoto and Chen to learn something new. They will spar with Omnos type of thing to kind of
Yep.
get an idea of what Omnos can do.
I think he's always happy to be fighting and learning more about that, so.
And Liz upholding is part of the deal.
I'm happy to spar along, but I'm not doing deals right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
You are definitely catching up, though, as you kind of get in regards to it. Even at home, if you practice a little bit at home with or wherever you can, knowing Virginia, with the Naginata, it's definitely, even as you kind of take a look in regards to it, like holding it in both hands and then practicing the different forms, the different kata in regards to it on your own, it feels natural as you kind of closer and closer get to the use to it. With 2 weeks, especially with how much that you're going into it, I would say that you definitely have at least enough of the specialty to count, or enough experience to count for the specialty that you have bought at the moment, type of thing.
Yeah.
And on my way to power.
Lou's aunt and uncle at least are very good teachers, so.
It's
I will
like
say that Omnos
Lou's just
is
enthusiastic.
Omnos is probably also going to be practicing with the Kusuriyama, but then, like, if he has owned that before, then, you know, it's not necessarily starting over completely from scratch, but he's also not doing that at the dojo because, yeah.
Train weapons are hard to practice with people.
Yeah, he probably more so does that in his own realm.
if you, yeah, they are a little bit harder to practice with people. That is actually not something that Agumios holds. That is a gift from Agma, and it's kind of some of the new stuff has happened and different people have gone there, considering that it is a Kusurigama, which probably means Mikoto would be the best person to teach you how to use that.
She might offer you like a dummy to practice with. Probably one of the striking dummies.
If you want it. I'm not going to...
I think he would just handle that on his own.
Yeah, like training with a Kusurigama or any type of weapon, either you need to have a dummy or you need specific katas. You don't just start sparring with weapons.
You don't just start swinging a chain around.
No, especially a Kusurigama. That's...
It's incredibly dangerous.
Well, maybe amongst other divine beings it could work out, but he's definitely not gonna go to the dojo with it. Like I said, he would figure that one out on his own, which I think he's skilled enough to do and has enough memories from various lives to do.
Absolutely.
Over time.
But yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a progress as you guys kind of get used to your various things. And from the visitations, a couple of weeks pass as you guys have spent most of the day at the dojo. Out of curiosity, just to see that if they've been there before, do you take your compatriots to your Nementon? No is a perfectly acceptable answer.
I mean, it's more like it's not that he wouldn't want to. I assume that the Nemeton would eventually come up in conversation. Like he wouldn't think to tell them about it, but I'm sure that eventually it would come up. And if they
Mhm.
wanted to
They
go,
wouldn't
he
think to
would
ask.
bring them. But he wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, come check out my new place."
I will say that with Omnos sparring along with us, there like I don't know exactly where in the 2 weeks it happens, but Virginia does show off her Naginata, because like at the end we're starting to train with that, and I will probably be very apologetic to the Naginata for putting it in a sheath that I can train with it. But I will show it to Omnos as well.
With the sheath, that is one way to go about it. If you like, since you probably do mention the Naginata, or even if you don't mention like necessarily that particular one to Mikoto, a temporary fix is tying a weight onto the end of a staff.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
That Mikoto's just like, oh yeah, sure, we'll
Plus
get
it-
that taken care of for you.
Plus, it means you don't have to transform the weapon in front of the class.
That is true. But anyway, Omnos will know about it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume that the Nemeton will eventually come up in conversation. Mentioned more like from Omnos' side, it's more like an oh yeah, I also have my own realm or something along those lines, sort of on the same
At some
lines
point,
of
one of
like
our
I got
staff's
some new shoes.
So where you been staying?
Well, sometimes in Terra Incognita, but mostly in my own realm. That was one other thing that kind of happened when I remembered that I'm a god.
Own
Right.
realm?
Cool. Is it
Oh
nice?
yeah, my Nemeton. I can go there now.
Is it nice?
I mean, it's nice for a place that's been dormant for a long time. Dead, sleeping, whatever you want.
Sounds cool.
Oh, and there are these gnomes. They kind of live there as well. Who are, I don't know, my servants, I suppose. Just if you ever do go there, do not mention the shape of their hoods. It's yeah, just don't.
Okay,
They
why?
will fight you.
It's just like a politeness thing. Points at the door.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, sure.
one
Okay.
that has consequences if you break the custom.
Alright.
Virginia looks very nervous.
I'm pretty sure I can not talk about something.
Yeah, but it's very tempting. And he doesn't describe them or say why. It's just
It just makes this way more uncertain for Virginia. It's like, what is going on? Help!
But yeah, he doesn't prompt them like come along and go there. It's more like if they
We're just aware
bring
of
up
it now.
wanting to see it, then he will bring them along. But yeah.
Listen, when I'm intrude.
Okay. Cool. I was just curious in regards to it. But as everyone goes through and does training through various points in the day, it gets late. It's about early evening, late afternoon, early evening, and it's kind of strange. Whoever would like to can make. I'm going to allow a decent amount of checks for these, so I apologize for the list that you are about to receive. It'll be cunning or intellect for the attribute. I will allow culture, integrity, subterfuge, or survival.
Are we all making a check?
Yes,
Okay.
all of you are making.
Could you
checks.
repeat the
Wow.
attributes again, please?
Attributes would be intellect or cunning.
Then intellect, subterfuge for me.
1.
2 successes from those, and 3 for Virginia.
Depending on what this is about, it could be 3, but I doubt it. I very much doubt it.
Let me take a look at your
I'm-
guys'.
I'm not getting an extra one, probably.
Oh yeah, this is not about that. Lou, I'm just looking at all your specialties because it's not necessarily that. Okay, cool. But for Virginia, given your particular specialty in subterfuge here,
Mm-hmm.
it is 4 successes.
Oh,
All 3 of you hear kind of like the vague noises of, for lack of a better term, chaos. Few blocks away. Or rather, distance-wise, the equivalent of a few blocks away, because you guys don't have blocks there, which is very sad.
that's
Down-
not
this is down-
very sad.
Down the road.
Yeah, down the road a little bit.
Right.
Grid systems are nice, thank you very much.
Not always.
They're boring and
that-
not very
that away.
adventurous.
Right.
But they are a lot easier to navigate than roads that were made for horses
True.
1,000 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
But down
That
down
is the one upside.
Mm-hmm.
down the streets and a few streets away, you guys kind of hear the sound of chaos. And as Omnos kind of describes it a little bit more to Lou, it's kind of like, well, maybe it's soccer hooligans, you never know. Virginia does not sound like soccer hooligans. It doesn't sound like a celebration getting out of hand. It
Okay.
sounds like people who are attacking something.
This sounds bad.
Who's gonna go look?
I'm going to follow. Yeah. Follow along.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm curious. We'll see what this is about. If it's a fight, it might be interesting.
As you kind of go through the streets, Lou, a lot of these places look familiar. Some of them are shortcuts that you take, or at least that you used to take, but you've stopped doing it because of the gang presence here.
Hmm.
And you see people in the streets wearing the affiliated related things with this gang who seem to be fighting off, for lack of a better word, different shaped spirits and things. Like, there's a pale lady with long hair that seems to be kind of down and everywhere. There's very tall creatures with Kanabo. There's just all sorts of various things, and these guys are fighting them off in the street before nightfall, even. Type of thing. Virginia, you
Mhm.
recognize the things that these guys are fighting instinctually as yokai.
Okay.
It just says, well, this is new.
This is bad.
And new.
Yes.
There, a lot of the people that are around are leaving, and obviously for quite good reason. Some people are screaming, given that Oni are terrifying to look at. or can be terrifying,
Mhm.
type of thing. Anyone who would like to can make a cunning, or I will allow a physical attribute of your choice.
Physical attribute of your choice. Okay.
Dexterity.
And subterfuge or integrity.
Subterfuge.
Integrity.
5.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, I had
2.
2 ones in mine. Eesh.
2 for Omnos, 5 for Lou, 2 for Virginia.
I actually have to pull up this person's stats real quick
Ah.
because I completely forgot to open up Obsidian before we started. So I have to go to the book.
Hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and give them a big pool for this one. Oops. Okay. Omnos, do you have a specialization that applies? You do not. Lou, do you have a specialization that applies? I guess I kind of, yeah. This will apply. So Omnos, it's very as you're taking a look around, it's just kind of like a fight would be interesting, and then there's a fight, and it's like, kind of want to go fight.
Do I?
Oh shit,
Maybe.
Christmas came early.
Oh dear.
I don't know if necessarily you do, but type of thing. But it is kind of like a fight would be interesting, and here's a fight type of thing.
Hmm.
But Virginia
Yes.
and Lou, definitely, there is an individual who's standing, I would say, about 100 feet or so away. They're not running.
Okay.
They're not. They're not. They're not. Oh, where is it? My creation starts. They're not running, and they seem to be watching, kind of just standing at a little bit of an alleyway. They are a feminine figure wearing kind of what a lot of people would kind of recognize as leather type of thing, standing with a confidence. Lou, definitely you notice that whoever this person is a fighter of some kind. They kind of give but it's not just like the fighting that you've been through. This is somebody that's seen combat type of thing.
Okay,
Um,
would my
and go ahead.
chaos innate power take hold in this scenario with the 5 big fight?
As in you would not be affected by it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to go through it.
Okay. I'm gonna
But
go
I don't know
say
whoever wants
hi.
to put that on there. However, I do have a picture, and I put it in the Discord. I haven't made a token yet, so.
Lou's gonna approach the strange lady.
I think
And
I'm
you
going to
just
stick
see Lou
close.
just walk through the crowd as if it's not there.
I'm going to stick with Lou as best as I can.
I think Omnos is just gonna watch the fight, but he's not getting involved. No one has made an oath to him to get him on his side, so.
I'm just kind of interested to see where this goes, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable.
Also, he hasn't really noticed the person, so he doesn't really know where people are going or why. He's just like, oh, there's a fight. But maybe someone will promise to fight for me if I just stand here and wait for panic to be big enough.
As you approach, she definitely notices you approach. It's kind of hard not to notice somebody not get attacked by anything.
As it gets closer, it's just gonna like do the upward nod and go noisy in it.
Go ahead to see how close that you get before you decide to stop. Go ahead and roll for me. What's the word I'm looking for? Go ahead and roll for me. What is stats? dexterity, subterfuge, or cunning subterfuge. Your choice.
I'll go with Dex. This has happened to be on the 1. Although if I get my stealth bonus, it's 2.
You are observant.
Oh.
If you are looking
So 2.
to see if people are being stealthy.
I tried to follow Lucian. How close am I with to him?
How close do you want? If the closer you are, the safer you'll be.
As close as
Yeah.
I can get, like just
Okay.
behind him.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Do you go ahead and make that check for me as well? Cunning and dexterity of subterfuge.
Dexterity subterfuge. Here goes. 5 successes.
Both like as Lou's about to step towards the alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, you put a shoulder or wherever you can reach on Lou, you grab to get Lou to stop because you see 3 figures hiding next to this person in the alleyway. Large figures.
Danger ahead, and I grab Lou by the shoulder.
Okay.
And I think at this time, I will grab from my pocket the carving knife. I will say, "Kitsu deshimasu," and extend it to the Naginata form.
And then I will say what I was going to say to the lady. But stay close enough to the crowd that we can just dive back into it as soon as movement happens.
She looks. Go ahead and make cunning, empathy, or integrity checks.
Both of us?
Integrity.
Yeah, go for it.
4 successes.
Cunning, empathy, or integrity. Well, I don't have any in either.
Rip.
Right. Never.
But not in
It's
cunning,
3
though.
successes.
It kind of. Have you ever met somebody that is quick to? I'll use the word passion. A lot of people would use the word anger, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they've had like a lot of training, type of thing in order to just practice. This is not the time, type of thing. Where it's kind of like a brief inhale in regards to it. As she's approached, she goes, "Yeah, it is a bit noisy, isn't it?" She does not have a local accent.
Is it, is it noticeably a specific accent?
What it is it's kind of the lack of accent, and it's more that it's the way that she speaks. It does suggest that she grew up in Japan, at least for her formative years.
Okay.
Outside of some of that lilt or how the words type of are formed, it is mostly a accentless voice, though.
Fair enough. And Virginia knows as like
Just
only
sort of briefly glance over her shoulder at the fight and then just say, "You know what started all this? Because that's new." Points at the yokai.
Okay, gotta grab her stats again. Let me take a look at what she's good at. She's not good at social stuff.
That's fine. Neither am I.
I'm missing one of my. There it is. Good. She says, haven't the foggiest.
Yeah, I mean, neither.
I'm gonna let these go on in regards to it. Both of you know she's not being entirely forthcoming. Is there anything that I can help you with?
I was just wondering what the hell is going on, to be honest. I don't know, you look like you might know something, but I guess you don't. Virginia have anything to add to the conversation?
No, Virginia's just letting you take the lead, and if you're going to do something, Virginia will back you up.
Like, I'm not just gonna randomly fight this lady. I have no idea who she is or why she's here.
Hmm.
So, well, guess I'll keep looking.
Yeah, you guys don't get involved in regards to it. So
I was also like on the way back through, just grab one of the gang members and be like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?"
one of the which ones? Type thing?
What one of the gang members that the gang that was harassing me.
You
It's like, hey,
grab. Okay, so you grab the guy that was part of the group that you threw the bike at, and was the guy there at the werewolf, and he goes, "Oh fuck, not again! No,
Oh my.
please
hello.
no."
I just want to know.
Hi.
I just want to know what's going on and why.
I don't know. We're sitting there being tasked with trying to get the stuff there. Omnos, as you're kind of watching the fight, it's getting pretty nasty. Some of these creatures are definitely taking like pulling at the aspects of the building type of thing. Lou, if that is something that you end up being interested in later, you know that a lot of the people that are here have probably left by now, except for the members of the gang.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, fucking, we're sitting here minding our own business, doing what it is in regards to the boss. What? He kind of looks around for a little bit, amazed that like nothing's taking a swing at him as he's standing next to you. And kind of quickly gathers himself and goes, and then these fucking big ass dudes come back and start fucking beating the shit out about it.
What big ass dudes? You
Points
recognize
towards
them?
Leone.
Okay, those big asses. What are they after? What did you bring in?
It wasn't. It was more that there was this chick that kind of came in and talked to the boss a little bit.
She wearing blue?
Like, yeah,
She's still
blue,
around?
really good blue makeup.
Is she still around?
She doesn't hang out here.
Okay. You see what she went?
I didn't know, but
What was she wearing?
blue dress kind of thing. Really
Yeah.
good eye makeup.
Not from here?
No.
Okay.
Well, she could be, but I don't think so.
Like the clothes.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Did anyone see what she went?
And he kind of like looks over, and you see a wolfman like fucking fighting an Oni type of thing. I don't know if you want to talk to him.
It's just kind of like, I'll give it a shot.
And
It's okay. He's busy right now.
and I follow Lou.
Imagining two people like so the thing about it is that now it's a
Excuse
comical.
me?
It's now it's kind of like a comical wrestling match between two people because like beforehand like there's always aspects to an environment type of thing, but like as Lou kind of goes forward, there's a bubble around Lou that kind of adjusts the adjusts the different things about it. And like as they're fighting each other, because they're not gonna stop fighting each other, but like if something swung, Lou's standing still and it goes over their head.
I'm staying out of arm's reach.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, hey, big guy, wolf guy, quick question. Lady in blue, where'd you go?
Busy right now, as he kind of like takes a Kanabo to the jaw.
Just point.
And he kind of points up the street towards. It's not rich. It's definitely wealthier aspect of town.
Yeah. South. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool, thanks. Good luck with the fight.
Yeah, thanks. Great. Could use your help, but all right. You kind of just walk.
Now you got this. I'm not helping him. He beat me up.
That's understandable. But
They'll get back at the crowd around us. It's like, apparently, Ajinru was here and she went that way.
I'm gonna make a check. Actually, hold on. See how much that your friend, or well, quote unquote friend.
They're not my friends.
They're not anyone's friend right now.
They're very not my friends.
They could be someone. No, not the gang members. Talking about the person. They could be a friend.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Oh
They
wow.
haven't been very
Okay.
polite so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah. So I know we're approaching the time that we normally go. Do we want to go for perhaps just a little bit late or anything like that? Since you guys wanted to go to Aojin.
I'm fine going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So you guys begin heading southward. There are. Go ahead and actually. So as you guys are kind of walking away, especially because Omnos, what you did is you watched Lou walk into a chaotic brawl, and just whatever it was, fate or otherwise, just kind of deigned not to make them be able to be touched. And then
Literally not a single ruffle of his hair.
and then they turned around. You watched as like this Oni was singing Kanabo and claws and things, and Lou was just outside of arm's reach, and this Kanabo swung over, it's like swung over Lou's head type of thing. But like as you've been watching this, is anyone keeping an eye out of curiosity?
I'm
Considering
trying to like both stick with Lou and just kind of like look around to
Lou's keeping that
dodge anything.
kind of spatial awareness, situational awareness that he would need in the middle of a big brawl. Because he walked into it expecting to have to dodge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Omnos is just watching everything. He's just, observing, so he's watching everything. That's
Okay.
best
I think
he
that
can.
you would prefer to do a survival check. Go ahead and make an intellect survival check, Omnos, because I know that you want to. With your situational awareness, Lou, go ahead and make a cunning subterfuge check. Your specialty will apply. In Virginia, I believe you'd want to do the same.
Cunning subterfuge?
Yeah, cunning subterfuge.
5 successes for Omnos, 3 for Lou.
4 if I get my thing.
As you guys are walking on, you guys don't notice anything. Actually, no, wait, that's not true. That was for a different roll. I messed up. Let me roll the proper pool here.
It's finally below 30 degrees. Yay.
Okay. Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely tough, but you think you're being followed.
Oh.
Lou, you do notice a couple of the gang members. They are doing their best to seem nonchalant. You know what to look for at this point. Sitting outside of a building.
Do I know if the person following me is specifically following me or following the group?
The latter, more the group.
Oh, darn it. Okay. I do still want to try something.
Go for
it. What ability do I need to make to use for a knack skill?
Which knack?
Doppelganger.
Doppelganger says subterfuge there.
And which attribute?
What are you trying to use Doppelganger for?
To pretty much set a second trail.
It's gonna be the same for you either way, because those seem to be manipulation or cunning.
Okay. Yeah, we'll roll it for manipulation.
Go for it.
3 successes.
Okay, yeah, it is easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's paying attention to Virginia kind of watch as I don't know how many of you have watched the Thor movies, but kind of like how Loki just kind of is walking forward, and then like the real Loki kind of ducks past and walks thing in regards to it past himself. Kind of just watch Virginia split off, going 2 different directions, type of thing.
And I think I'll do that as like the group makes a turn, and Virginia just keeps going forward.
Okay. I will say, as you kind of approach the building, the doppelganger is there, and the doppelganger will be there, so you can use the doppelganger for other things.
Yep.
But they do not seem to have bitten off the bait.
Okay. In that case, what I'm going to do with my doppelganger is, instead of like the first attempt didn't work, what I will do is I will start tailing our tail.
Okay. Make that a dexterity subterfuge check.
Dexterity subterfuge. Okay. It's only better. 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. Excellent.
And let's see. I will have my doppelganger use random passerby's phones to send me messages about like what the tail is doing, what they look like.
Okay. We will address that in a moment. I will make a note just in case we stop before that. So go ahead and put that there. I'm gonna figure out a pun to do for the doppelganger. But not right now, but I am going to figure out a pun.
Virginia. That could work.
And
Virginia. Yeah. No, it's not working.
Virginian. Virginian.
There it is.
Oh, and for the texting and stuff, I am using another knack called wireless interface.
Your doppelganger is using another knack, yes.
Yes.
Because you have they have access to them.
Yep.
But yeah, so you approach a couple of these individuals type thing. They definitely take a look. One of them has the balls to try to come up and approach you, given that they have not yet been made aware of the fact that you are a Scion of some kind.
Yeah, that's fine. Lou opens with pointing over his shoulder at the carnage, going, "Yo, you seeing that shit?"
One of them takes a look over. It's like, shit. Hold on, and he pulls out his phone and probably shoots a text message to somebody to kind of let them know what's going on. So you here to sign up finally?
Now I don't do that. No, I'm looking for, the lady in the blue. I forget what it's called, but Lou would know.
Hanfu.
The lady in the blue Hanfu with the fancy makeup. You seen it?
Don't know what the fuck a Hanfu is, but I have seen a lady in a blue dress with fancy makeup. Yep.
Yeah, that. Where's she?
She's inside, but I can't really let anyone in.
She behind all that?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know.
Oh, good. Because I would hate if she was. Can you let her know we're here?
Taking a look. Hold on. Let me just read the celestial bureaucracy power.
Oh god, does that apply?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure it out. Because I don't know if this counts as bureaucratic delay.
Are they corrupt officials?
Well, they're definitely corrupt. No,
But are they
not all of
officials?
them, mind you. I don't know. I will let this be a question for the table. Would we consider, in the same vein, bouncers at a club to be part of bureaucratic delay?
Oh, I think so, because they're like corruption can happen at that level as well.
It doesn't necessarily have to be
it doesn't have to be
corruption.
corrupt. It's specifically like bureaucratic stuff.
Yeah, I
Because
think so.
technically there is an aspect of social graces and like rules that you need to follow that can delay you
what
going
do you think?
forward. Yeah, we got chats. So let's take a look. We've got one chat open. I got two chat open. Okay, give it a little bit for stuff to catch up.
I have a power that lets me ignore all complications from bureaucratic delay, corrupt officials, missing paperwork, long lines of the DMV, or similar obstacles that appear the right functioning of bureaucratic and official institutions. Does this count?
Oh. Hope that was clear enough.
Does guards at a institution that's not necessarily a political institution count as bureaucratic delay? Because if they do, then it's just kind of like you just walk in. If they don't, then you don't walk in right now.
We might have to make some rolls.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I can make a couple of rolls. It's fine. Don't worry.
I'm not. I just think that it would be funny. Just like this guy goes, what?
Can we come in? Come in.
A bureaucratic what?
Delay.
Yeah, like is being kept outside from a building by, was it armed guards?
Yeah.
Is that considered bureaucratic delay?
Would one consider that? Because the other option that I'm getting is just was mostly kill them all.
Ramsey says, hell yes.
Okay. And it does say that in particular aspect of the question, another person in a different chat does agree. So they just go, I guess? And they just kind of step aside. Very confused.
It's just like, oh, that worked. Cool. Alright, I just walk in. Come on, guys.
I'm sorry, I can't speak interpunction.
Don't worry about
it. We still have a tail, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The tail's gonna have to get past the guards.
Yeah. I think then Virginia Ain't is going to keep tabs.
Okay. As you kind of go through, some of the other people that are there in regards to it do seem a little bit confused. As you explain that you're looking for Ao Shinru.
Lou's
or at
gonna walk around like he owns the place.
Yeah.
And Virginia still has the Naginata, having walked through London.
This is my bodyguard. If you know who I am, that is very scary.
It's just like Jason Momoa's bodyguard.
Yeah.
The
mini boss is before the main boss.
As they kind of sit there,
I'm a mini boss.
Kind of so confused. There is an elevator that does kind of go up. It is a small building, but it's just for simplicity's sake. There is an elevator that goes up, and you guys are escorted so that way a lot of this stuff doesn't happen. So you guys kind of don't go too far out of the way. Though you are confident at this point that should you want to go anywhere in this building, you probably could. Lou.
Yeah.
Violently or otherwise. But you are kind of escorted, and there's a brief conversation that you guys kind of overhear. It's like, I don't fucking know. Like, what are we supposed to tell them? No? Look at the fucking... boss probably wants to see him anyway. Just fucking let him in. They're looking to ask for the fucking lady. Like, just kind of conversations between a couple of them, and the guard just kind of does a little bit of a secret nod as the door does kind of crack inwards for a little bit. A brief thing is mentioned. He kind of looks you up and down, looks over at Virginia's Naginata for a little bit, and goes, "Ah, fuck it, I don't get paid enough." And it just opens the door and lets you guys in.
If you had said anything other than that, Virginia would have gone, "This comes with me."
It's just like, yeah, you can't stop me. There's things in that room.
And generally, kind of what you see is it's definitely so. What you would expect to see is maybe not you guys in particular, but what some people would probably expect to see is Ao Jinru given a place of honor, type of thing, as an honored guest, going forward and figuring out some of the stuff. What you see is, Lou, you would recognize this as the guy that sat there and watched and paid off the judges in regards to your martial arts stuff. He's sitting in the place of honor while Ao Jinru is in the boss's seat. Type of thing. And she goes, I didn't expect to see you guys again so soon. Might I ask what this is about?
Oh, we were just curious about the big fight going on outside and wondered if you guys knew anything about it.
Big fight?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of, what are they called?
Oni.
Or
not Oni,
yokai.
Yokai out there. Fighting, points at the dude, your guys. So again, their ass is kicked.
Whoever wants to may roll a cunning, empathy, or integrity check, as you mentioned a bunch of yokai fighting her people.
I will go for cunning integrity.
Eek.
1 success.
4 success.
4 successes. 0
0
successes.
I am so not interested in this, apparently.
This isn't a fight.
Momentum.
I'm good.
Uh,
I don't know if my thing applies, so.
I feel like Lou's got this.
Just that we're coming to the end of the session, and it's more like, do you want an experience?
I mean, if the others are okay
fine,
with
I'll
it, I
take
could.
some momentum if
sure,
you
go
guys
ahead.
want, but
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can have some.
That's a
how
treat.
much?
As much
Yes.
as you want.
3.
Yeah.
Gotta be half.
What?
3 of them.
We have to spend half of it to get.
That's
XP.
1
Oh,
success.
okay.
1 success. Okay. Virginia and Omnos, she's taking this rather well. Lou, this is the type of irritation that comes from someone who's not allowed to show that they're irritated. She is very, very angry. She goes, "Oh, great, it's them."
Who's that?
And almost as if on cue, Virgin ain't, because 5 successes does not beat 6, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Is tossed through the door with the individual that you guys had talked to stepping forward as she kind of rushes her hands, like kind of pats her hands.
Okay, so, DM, sorry, Tyler. What happened before Virginia was tossed through the door? Was she attacked?
She was not damaged. Is it attack or is it damage?
Attacked.
Okay.
It cannot benefit from a teamwork actions and dissipates into dust if attacked.
Okay. So yes, then it would have dissipated into dust. But
do I notice that the point of legend I imbued returns to me?
If it is imbued in a point of legend, yes.
Okay. Also, I would I think I know how
legend. It doesn't say it needs legend for this calling.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Sorry, never mind.
Continue.
Peace and Kami and animal aspect. But as this happens, and I realize, I don't have. That's actually something. Do I notice that my doppelganger gets dispelled?
Evens or odds?
Let's go for evens.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I will imbue one legend.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take on the animal aspect of the quick fox for mobility.
Okay. For mobility, got it. Okay.
Lou just puts his hand on the nearest thing.
That's me.
The nearest object.
Oh, that's mine. That's mine.
The nearest unattended object.
No, I would say that it's an attended object because you just grab like one of the guards' things.
Hmm.
You grab his wallet. We'll just say that you have his wallet that you can use as a weapon.
Ah,
Be
sick.
sure
I've always wanted to hold this and throw it in a bin.
But this individual does not pay attention to the three of you. She's looking directly at Ao Jinru. And the thing that kind of comes to mind here is just the tension of a lot of people with power. Because you three have power. Clearly, Ao Jinru has power. But like it's not just political power, it is as if there is a charge to the air. As 5 Scions stand in the same room that may or may not be odds at one another. And that, my friends, for the evening, is where we will call our session for the night.
Ooh.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
I don't know whose wallet this is, but it's going to become a ballistic missile.
I have been your storyteller for the evening, Alverns. With me, with little gnome friends, I have had Omnos.
Yeah, just the shape of which remains to be unsaid.
Played by Min. I forgot to ask that to add that. Playing newly melee capable Virginia. I have had the Netherland.
I'm learning.
And then playing strangely confident, just able to walk in and do whatever the fuck they want. Blue. I've had Keystrid.
Yeah, remember when there were boundaries?
I remember it as if it were 2 weeks ago.
Funny thing is that now, even if there's aspect in people regarding official authority that didn't work, Omnos just can walk right in anyway, because Omnos has order.
True.
Or I can just say, no, you're not in charge of me. Fuck off.
Um,
You're not the boss of me.
Actually, do I have? Oh yeah, I do have order. Never mind.
From your rod.
Yeah, I forgot.
And
I was like, I have judge, and then I remember, oh, I have order as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we'll go ahead and catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Scion Divinity Reborn, and I need to get the proper music started. There we go. Thank you all so much for staying around and hanging out in my channel. It's just a lot of fun to play these kinds of games, and I would like to again thank Ragnar October for the raid early on this session. Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Hey, this person can fly. Look at him. What are you doing? You got like special powers? Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. after I loot their bodies. Remember, friends, always loot the corpses. Very important.
Always funny, those glitches. But yeah, again, if you haven't seen me doing playing Honey Heist at Dr. Andy's stream on Saturday, please go and check out that VOD. It is just a lot of fun, and I am so honored that I could be there and do that for them. With that said, there might be a stream tomorrow, there might not be. It is very, very hot here. I will get this all done and turn off my computer as soon as possible, because it is just another source of heat here. And I'm just going to check who we can raid here, maybe. Another VTuber sibling of mine is playing Sunless Sea, which is a very cool narrative game about London having sunk down into an underground abyss. So the right one? Yes, that's the right one. So if you want to join us, we can use this message. We can also, if you have a subscription to my channel, you can use that message. Look at the very cute emotes, the heart and the heading of the Harry, which is my shark, my IKEA shark. So possible game stream tomorrow where we will be doing some prep for my upcoming D&D game. And I might talk a little bit about any possible other writing projects that I have, depending on how I feel at that moment. But the other next stream will be on Friday for a bit of Okami, and hopefully it'll be cooler by then. With that said, thank you all so much for being here. I have been the Netherlad. I am the Netherlad. And I will be the Netherlad for some time at least. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a lovely time. Have a lovely day. Please stay safe in these terrible temperatures. And see you all later. Bye-bye.